Hi guys, so this week I'm going to bring you along with me how I run my baking business and how I split up my week, give you a bit of insight on how I get from A to B ingredients to fully finished cakes all in 1 week. Obviously you guys know that I do a lot of content for TikTok, that's kind of my job, and I'm not churning out 15 to 20 cakes a week like I used to. But I've got 5 cakes this week and I still do my usual days. I thought I'd give you some insight on how I split up my week, organise my days, and give you advice how to be more efficient and better with your time if you're running a cake business. And also if you're just a bit nosy and you want to see me go from ingredients to fully finished cakes, then I will bring you along each day this week. So I may as well give you like a little itinerary of what you should expect from this video and this week. So what I used to do is when I was doing 15 plus cakes, I used to do all my sponges on a Monday. The only mess I would have out is all my butter, my sugar, all the sponges would go in the freezer. Tuesday would be my buttercream and fillings day. Because I'm doing a less volume of cakes, I can do my sponges, my buttercreams and my fillings all in one day. So today, while I'm filming this, is Tuesday, but when I used to be very busy, I would do all sponges on a Monday, buttercream and fillings Tuesday. Wednesday has always been my crumb coating day. Thursday and Friday is my decorating days. Now that is an ideal week. I know when you're just starting out, you want to take as many orders as you can, and you might have to bake on the Sunday and decorate on the Monday. Obviously do whatever works for you. But as time goes on and you're able to grow your baking business, you can be a little bit more fussy and organise your weeks better for you. So that is my dream week. But this week, because I don't have loads of cakes, starting on Tuesday and doing my sponges and my buttercream and my fillings, and then tomorrow we will crumb coat. Because I've been doing this for so long, I know exactly what each size and each height needs weight-wise, but you will learn this over time. So I have my lovely vanilla sponge. I have 2 vanilla cakes. This week has worked out so well because I've got all 4 cakes. I've got 5, but one's already baked in the freezer. I've got 4 cakes that are all 6-inch 2 layers, and 2 are chocolate, 2 are vanilla. So a little tip, always start with your vanilla batches, because that means you can reuse the tins once they come out in the oven, and vanilla crumb can go on chocolate crumb. But if you did chocolate cakes first, and then baked a vanilla cake, if there were any chocolate crumbs, it wouldn't look very good. All my recipes, masterclasses and stuff are all linked in my bio, but if you have my conversion sheet, which shows you how to convert the vanilla into all my other flavours, you would know the red velvet recipe, I mix in the food colouring with the eggs. So I like to do this last because that means I don't have to wash this up in between uses because there's only eggs going in there. So I'm just going to weigh out my sponges, 2 vanilla hearts, 2 vanilla rounds, and then pop them in the oven. So the vanilla cakes are done. Don't ask me why, but for some reason, even though there's the exact amount of batter in both these shapes, maybe it's surface area, my hearts always take a little less time in the oven. So with my recipe, if you guys have it, it will come out so slightly domed, but as it cools, it will flatten, and that means you only have to trim a tiny bit off the top when you're crumb coating. Now, I know these are cooked because I skewered them before I pressed play, but we'll just triple check if the rounds, because if you take a cake out too early, it will sink. Whereas if you want to save time, you use more sets of tins, and right now, while these are cooling, I've already got another set in the oven, and then you can just continue. So you always have cakes in the oven, whereas I've had to turn my oven off while I make this. So it doesn't matter today, but if you want to be super efficient in running a cake business and take on more cakes, that is the best way to do it, and how I used to do it as well. So now that my vanilla cakes are out of the oven, they've cooled slightly, we want to wrap them while they're warm because it keeps the moisture in, but you don't want the tins to be hot to touch, otherwise it will like vacuum pack the cake. So it's still warm. I'm going to wrap them in cling film. Now if I was doing this on a Monday and crumb coating on the Wednesday, then I would put these into the freezer, but as I'm crumb coating tomorrow, I'm just going to pop them in the fridge. But you have to make sure that you wait till they're cool. So you can wrap them while they're warm, do that, but you need to wait till they're cool to put them in the fridge or freezer. So I'm going to get the sponges out and then just put the chocolate mix in and get those baked. you guys might have noticed that the Kenwood mixer has changed. It's because Kenwood kindly sent me my dream mixer. It's matte black, but because it's kind of meant for my new house and Buttercream's really messy, I'm just using my old Kenwood K-Mix because I don't want it to get too like dusty. I just want that one to be perfect. So I'm using this one for Buttercream because the icing sugar just goes everywhere. So it's later in the day. Sponges are just cooling down before they go in the fridge. Time to do 2 batches of Buttercream. I do 6 blocks per batch. If you've bought my recipe, the recipe amount is 5 blocks because I do overload my mixer, I can't lie. So I don't always like to recommend it, but I don't like making Buttercream. So that is exactly why I only make sponges once a week and I do my Buttercream once a week. So I only have the mess out once. So I've got 2 batches of Buttercream, and then while the Buttercream is mixing, I will do my raspberry filling, which again, all linked in my bio if you guys need. It's not a jam because it's not a firm filling, but I've got it in my fridge actually. I have some. It's literally my favourite thing ever, but it is a runny filling, which is perfect, and it perfectly cuts through the sweetness of American buttercream and the sweetness of the cake. It's slightly tart. It is my favourite thing ever. Another thing to note is I will never make my buttercream the day I need it, because sometimes it's quite easy to over whip and it can be soupy sometimes, especially in the summer. So I'll always give my buttercream a good day to just chill out, rest. I don't know what the scientific thing it does, but it's much easier to work with the day after you make it. So I'll be making 2 batches. One is for tomorrow when I'm crumb coating, and another one is just a backup in case a cake failed, in case I use way more than I'm expecting, which never happens, and then it just stays in the fridge and I can use it next week. So I'm gonna whip this up, I'm gonna do my jam, and then tomorrow I'll see you for crumb coating. So it's Wednesday, it's crumb coating day. Like I said yesterday, you could also crumb coat on Tuesday, you could crumb coat on Thursday. I just do it on a Wednesday. That means I have tomorrow and Friday to decorate. I have, you can't see because my face tracker's on, but I've got my first cake that I'm crumb coating. I've got my simple syrup, I have to follow. I've got my chocolate buttercream, vanilla buttercream, jam, and then my, oh my God, I just remembered. I completely forgot to make ganache yesterday, so you shouldn't do this, but I made it this morning and then I just put it in the freezer to set up, so it's a little bit too runny at the moment, but it does set up quite quickly, but it is best if it just sets overnight. My lovely, lovely ganache, if you have my flavour conversion sheet. This is half milk chocolate, half dark chocolate, and it's got a 1-to-1 ratio to chocolate to cream. I feel that that gives the best flavour. Not too bitter, but nice and sweet, and it's still very rich. Right, that's going back in the freezer. Not quite ready. So this cake right here is for a regular of mine, and these cakes are for a photo shoot for babies. It's like called a cake smash, baby smash. So I still crumb coat these in buttercream, so it doesn't need a ganache crumb coat. I know it's literally going from the fridge straight in front of a baby, so I don't have to worry about stability. However, in the summer, although today is the 1st of October while I'm filming this, it is still quite warm, so I think I'm still going to crumb coat and ganache for the rest of my cakes. I also quite like the flavour. I don't know how to explain it. When you have a slice of cake, and obviously the part of the slice that's near the centre is my favourite. I feel like the end of the slice can be people's not the favourite part, because it's obviously the brown side. So I feel like when you crumb coat and ganache, it makes every single part of the cake delicious because you've got that extra creaminess on the outside. I hope that makes sense. For example, this week, all my cakes are being collected on Friday apart from this one. So I'm going to crumb coat this one first, crumb coat the others, come back to this one and decorate it because that's being collected tomorrow, and the rest I can decorate tomorrow or Friday, depending on when people are picking up. This is a 5-inch 2-layer, so this is the smallest cake that that I offer. I used to do bentos, but they don't make me any money, but they are good. I'll explain on another video why bentos are good, although profit-wise they're not, but they're a great entry product for people to try your cakes without spending too much money. And I did them for years. Yes, I wouldn't lose money, but they weren't exactly a money maker. Okay, so that is my first cake of the day, crumb coated, and I have 4 more to go. So for this cake, for example, I know this is for like an engagement party, and plus they actually haven't had a cake from me before, even though that I know her. So for extra stability, just so they don't have to worry about it being sat out, I mean, it's not really summer anymore, so it should be absolutely fine. But for this cake, I'm gonna crumb coat it in ganache. 1, because I feel like it's nicer to eat, but 2, then I know it can sit out all day. There's not gonna be any bulging. It's not gonna topple over on itself if it got really warm. It just gives me a bit of extra peace of mind, especially when it's for such a special occasion. So what I'll do, I'll leave this like this. I'll just run my palette knife around the edge and then let this completely cool, get really, 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 really cold, because obviously when you put ganache on, it's warm and sometimes it can melt the buttercream. So I do all my buttercream crumb coats first, and then I'll do my ganache second, and then while that's crumb coating, I can decorate other cakes and then come back and ganache crumb coat this later. And I do that in a 3:1 ratio, white chocolate ganache. So while the engagement cake is in the fridge and I've done the first layer, I've gone and grabbed the next cake and I'm going to do a little layer around the seam, then put that into the fridge to set, and then crumb coat the whole heart cake. You can see I've just done a really thin layer of ganache, and because the cake is cold, that's going to set really quickly. We're going to put this in the fridge and then grab the engagement cake. After this has been in the fridge for a couple of minutes, the ganache is already set, so now I know I'm safe to just ganache the whole cake, and it will be ready to final coat tomorrow along with all the cakes. And I just repeat this until I've crumb coated all of my cakes. Now it's only about 1 p.m. on, what day is it? Wednesday, so it's about 1 p.m. So what I could do if I had a really busy week is start decorating this afternoon, but I have a lot of admin to do, so I'm going to do all my decorating tomorrow. But it just shows you how you can mix up different days if you want to be super efficient and just cram loads of cakes in. But today I'm going to leave it at that and start my decorating tomorrow. Hi guys, so it's Thursday. I've got 4 cakes to do today, and I'll give you a little tip. You always want to start with the cake that has the least amount of food colouring. So I usually always start with white. I actually rarely have cream cakes. It's just the natural buttercream colour. I did this one off camera because it's a little bit plain, and I've got to put raspberries on it tomorrow because it's being collected tomorrow, so you want the fruit to be fresh. Just plain with bows, super, super simple. But I started with this one because it has no colouring in. This is the natural buttercream colour. Whereas my next cake is the engagement cake, which I have added whitener and some purple in, so it looks really white, because some of the cream cakes can have like a yellow undertone and that doesn't really give wedding. So I've done my first cake, and while I put this in the fridge to set fully, I'll then bring the engagement cake out, because it does need at least 5 to 10 minutes just sitting there for the initial chill to go off before you put your final coat on. Because I have crumb coated this one in ganache, this is literally rock hard, so it needs a good 10 minutes so we don't ruin the final coat. I'm feeling very wintry today because I'm in all black, it's cold, and I don't have any fake tan on, so I'm feeling like a bit of a ghost. Okay, so this is the bridal cake. It has dried hydrangeas and lots of pearls. I haven't actually sent her a picture yet. Let me show you the writing. But she wanted the scraper effect with the little ridges, dried hydrangeas, which she did pay for, and I put it on. I like putting engagement cakes on a square base. I feel like it's a bit more grand. I don't know why, just a square base looks better. So here is the cake. You can see the difference with the whitener. Obviously that would be a cream. It's not really giving bridal vibes. Engaged, I always think engaged looks better with all lowercase rather than a capital E. I feel like a capital E never looks good on piping writing, but super happy with it. I'm gonna send her a picture now. The next cake is from my lash tech. She's also a very good friend of mine, and she said that I could pretty much do whatever I want. So I have a vibe of what she likes, but I'm gonna do like an autumn theme because obviously it's October. I haven't checked that with her, but that's just what I'm feeling, and I know she'll kind of trust me. So I'm gonna mix up some autumn colors. Then I have a pastel cake, which I'm kind of bored of doing pastels because summer's over now. But that'll be a really fun cake with ducks on, which I haven't done before. So 2 more to go, and I'm gonna film these 2. So the 2 that I've just done haven't filmed for TikTok, and the next 2 because I haven't done this style before. Sometimes when I haven't done a cake before, it ends up really good, and I always wish that I filmed it. So I'm gonna film the next 2 for TikTok. Right, so I've got the chocolate cake. This is cake 3 of 4. This is for my friend. And I'm going for these 2 colors. This is like a muted orange and almost like a cranberry. I know she likes my doodle cakes, so I'm kind of gonna make it up as I go along. I'm gonna have some fun with it. I'm gonna film it as well for TikTok, and I will show you the process. I will insert a picture here of the doodle cake that she originally sent me, but obviously we're in October now, so we're doing autumn colors, and I'm just gonna see what happens because I've never done a cake like this with these colors, but she does trust me, and often when I have an idea, it usually turns out well, so fingers crossed. Okay, so I finished the cake. I feel like the colours aren't as pigmented on this camera, but I'm super happy with it. It's giving autumn. I just took some pictures with some little pumpkins. You'll probably see it on my Instagram. I think she'll love it. I hope it's the sort of vibe, but it's just very autumnal, not very summery, which is what I was trying to steer away from. But I think she'll like it a lot because it's still got that doodle vibe, but still girly, still autumnal, not super summery, and not too much, so I'm really happy with it. I've got one more, which I have been dreading because it's got ducks on and I'm not really sure what to do, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And yeah, one more to do. It's 12:30, so looks like I will have Friday off, which is probably when I'll do some content cakes. Fingers crossed. Okay, so this is my last cake of the day. I'm so happy that I got everything done because that means I kind of have a free day tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do one content cake, so I really want to do like a giant pumpkin. Whether I end up doing that, I'm not sure. But super happy with the cake. The ducks are so cute. It was Cakery in the Makings design. I will tag her below and put her on the screen. But she is very well known for these cute little designs, and I'm super happy with it. So I'm happy that I got everything done in one day. So tomorrow I think I'm definitely gonna do a content cake and try and get some really good pictures because I think the lighting is good tomorrow. I am not looking forward to the fact that it's winter and I have to get my ring light out because nothing beats daylight. So super happy with the cake. Just in case something happens and I don't end up doing any cakes tomorrow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions about how to manage your week, do put it in the comments. I also have a baking business guide, which includes everything you would ever need. And that's always linked in my bio. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.